Thank you for being here, everyone. Carolina Keith, Professor Keith, regular Keith. Can't stand Keith. I wish Keith did fundamental analysis. Nonetheless, good to see you all here. I want to go over the market a little bit. We're just going to hit some of the top assets here. I'm going to show you Bitcoin, Ethereum, AVAX, and a few others, and then we'll get right to it. 786 assassins. But first, if you haven't done so, like and subscribe, please. It is free. It costs nothing. $0 to like us. The more likes we get, the more people we can help, and that is the goal. Now, if you haven't done so, please check us out right here, launchpass.com/the786 assassins/half off. Description down below has the link as well. It's $8. It won't be $8 for very long. Let's give you a tour of what's inside that same Discord that I'm talking about while we're here. So this is our general chat. You can talk about literally anything you want anytime, from politics, which you won't see me talk about, to charts, to grilling, to anything else you want. That's what the general chat is for. Feel free to ask questions. Myself or anyone else will jump in and try to answer. The real meat of our Discord comes in the chats that you can't see unless you pay the small $8 fee. So once you do that, you unlock. Here's our unlimited chat. We do constant talk in here, constant. It never stops, 24/7. There's always people in here talking, discussing things. What do we go over? We go over almost every chart you can think of, from the S&P 500 to the NASDAQ to the Russell 2000 to ES mini futures, Bitcoin, crypto of all different types, forex. I recently had a killer USD CAD, which is UCAD forex trade that I posted. And where did I post that at? Well, it was right down below here in the forex section here. Posted my forex trade, did very well. We also talk about the dollar index constantly because there is some correlation there. We have an entire grouping of charts right here, all different types of charts for you to look through. It's $8. It never stops. We have a ton of educational material right here. Knock yourself out, man. It's $8, and it won't be $8 much longer. Pretty soon that will go up. Get in while you can. All right, let's start with Bitcoin here. I've got this zoomed in really big so you can see it well. This is a very large high time frame Fibonacci retracement set that I have pulled right here. It is over the entire bear market. I'll zoom out so you can see that. Right here is the top that we had all the way back in November, and I'll drop the camera off here so you can see. Right there's the top in November. All the way down here is the bottom. This fib set has a trend line built into it. That is that line you see right there. All right, we broke said trend back in January and since have moved up off of that trend line perfectly. And now we've jumped over the 382 fib. And what's the significance of the 382 fib? Well, the 382 fib is kind of a support and resistance zone. That's all Fibonacci retracement is support and resistance. So what we see here is it's sitting over top of 26,840. And this is BTC1. So this is BTC CME futures. This is the only publicly traded Bitcoin chart for futures in the US. That's why I use it. And it tends to be a little bit smoother and a little bit more consistent. Now, there's some extra data here that I want you to see. I like the fact that this is over the 382 fib. And I know it doesn't feel good because you got this pull down. I understand. I've already scaled out some, and I'll be scaling out more if I get the right signals. But if I also put some in if I see the right thing pop up, I'll say this. As long as it stays over 382, all is well. If we drop below this 382 fib right here, then we're bound to come down to a lower level here, and that's roughly 25,000. I want to see this 382 hold. So that's our high time frame look, and as well as you see this white line here, it's just kind of riding up on this white line. That thing runs out right about June, right about the end of June. So for the next 2 months, there's a possibility that we could still go all the way up to 38,000. Now, I reserve that. I don't think that's going to happen necessarily. I lean more on the conservative side of 32,000, kind of what I think. One step at a time, though. Not a financial advisor, not financial advice. Let's see where this goes on the high time frame. Let's drop down a little bit and show you the lower stuff. All right, I swapped over to the Bitstamp pair so you could see this. It's a little cleaner over here. I'm going to remove these fibs. We're still sitting right at about this 382 fib, okay? It's kind of playing around with it. Now, this one's a little tighter, as you see. It's back and forth, bouncing around on failing or not failing. CME chart was a little smoother, like I kind of said. So we have this bit of a channel riding up right here. As you see, it's reacted very well to this midline. over and over and over again very well to it. And it's also respected the upper line pretty well. So you could have just a channel drawn from this top and this bottom all the way across. I went ahead and pulled it all the way out to be a little bit more frugal. So right now we're playing around with that midline. We're playing around with that 382 line. And if I add in some moving averages here, which I'll do next. Oh, that's the Ichimoku cloud, sorry. I'll add in the 50 moving average and turn my moving averages on. And look, right now we're hitting that 50 moving average, which we haven't done since the middle of March. And that was when we actually broke through it and reclaimed it really, really rapidly. All right. This stung everybody. It hurt everybody when that happened. And then immediately it popped right back up. I don't think it's the end of the world if we see something similar happen here. If we have something go down and then a little bit harder down, down, and a little harder down, may have already done it, honestly. So I want to see how it reacts to this 50 moving average here. If it can hang on to this 50 moving average, well, that's awesome. If it can't hang on to this 50 moving average, well, that spells a different story. And that opens up a farther fall down to that 25,000 level that I talked about earlier. Now, I've gone all the way down to the 4 hour, which I don't typically do, but I think we're running out of time overall on this. Like I said, I think June is kind of the end of the road here. So I wanted to show you a lower time frame because we're getting down tight on numbers here. So the thing I noticed here was a bit of bullish divergence. Our RSI is gaining strength and went super oversold, which is good. But at the same time, price is kind of flat. That's bullish divergence. That is a rising strength and a flat or down price. That's good. We want to see that continue. In fact, I'd love to see it work its way up here. But as you see, barrier of progress, a 200 moving average, that's not going to fall easy. As you see it kind of push through it quickly. And I'm not sure I like that. So as long as we maintain this 382 fib down here, we're able to jog back and forth and bounce and touch off the top of that line. It's all right. I don't want to see it fall much farther than this though. Wanted to quickly show you a look here on the weekly. RSI still hasn't quite gotten oversold. Almost, but not quite. I'm sorry, overbought. Almost, but not quite. Still trending up here, and I know it feels bad because it's red right now, but that's just part of the game. On the other hand, I want you to see this doji at the bottom of this very large bearish engulfing candle. This doji represents a potential reversal sitting on support. That's called a morning star pattern. All right, when you have a price that runs directly down to support like this, then throws a doji at the bottom, you wait for the next 2 weeks after this as a 3-candle pattern to see if it comes back up to bottom resistance at 28.5 and potentially right back up to where it started at 30,000. Now, I'm not saying it's going to do that. It may take more weeks than that. Chart patterns are a little hit and miss on crypto in general. Just keep an eye on it. All right, over to Ethereum on the weekly. This hit one of my targets clean as a whistle. So I scaled out most of my Ethereum, hardly have anything left. Took profits on this thing 3 times. Was beautiful. Where did I take profits at? Right down below in that Discord. You remember that? What I told you? Yeah, that Discord down there? Yeah, super helpful. Now I've zoomed into the range here a little bit better so you can see. I kind of need to erase these green lines because there's my old buy lines. But I like leaving them up there for perspective for myself. So we've already run to high time frame support here, and I know you have a pretty gnarly looking head and shoulders right here. It's on a lower time frame, but that's pretty gnarly looking, I'll admit. So there's another possibility this thing comes all the way back down to 1704, where this previous range bottom was. So right now you're kind of stuck in the mud here between the 50 fib and the 382. I really wanted to see it break this 50 fib. It did not break that 50 fib, and since that happened, you have a potential continuation right back down to from which you came. For that to be invalidated, we need to hang on to this white line here. If we can hang on to this white line, we can potentially run back up here and test this 50 fib some more. Again, I think we have till the end of June to make this happen. And for Ethereum, it may be a little different. We may be a little farther out, but not certain on that. For now, we are at high time frame support, but that's an ugly pattern on that chart. So I think there may be more down here. Last but not least is AVAX. As you see here, really, really gnarly retracement. I've went ahead and pulled some fibs on this thing, kind of from back where this thing started in December. And as you see, it's currently still hanging on to this trend here. So I can't deny that. I've already sold off a large portion up here. All right. And I've already put a little bit more in down here. I've rebought my position. Now I have a larger stake in AVAX with the same amount of money. You understand how that works? So it came down and hit this box. This box I had drawn was right at about the 618 fib. It came down and struck that. Now, the other side of that coin was the 200 moving average is right down here as well. It didn't quite hit that yet, and I kind of thought it would. So if this thing doesn't get going here rapidly, I think there's a chance you get another dive down into this box toward this 200 moving average. If this thing can hold on to this dotted trend line, all is well, and you'll continue to try to fight back and get over this 821 EMA that we have right here. That target, if it does break that, would be back around $19. Again, I think this ends off somewhere around June, but it may be a little different for AVAX. This chart's a little different, kind of like Ethereum from Bitcoin and stuff. So that was just the other look I wanted to show you on AVAX. One last thing. Here's AVAX versus Bitcoin. Now, don't do these if it's a downtrend because they're both losing value. But what this shows you is strength versus Bitcoin, right? So what I see here is AVAX really, really hard fall down in March. And even though they were both going up, Bitcoin was going up more rapidly. You understand how that works? So because Bitcoin was going up more rapidly, it was smarter to be in Bitcoin than it was AVAX. AVAX had its run. It got hung up. And it's right back down here to this floor level that it was at before. So is there a possibility that AVAX could break loose from Bitcoin again? Yes, there is. No guarantee. I use these versus Bitcoin charts just to see what may be breaking loose temporarily. If one's better to be in than the other, I will continue to do so in the bull market, but we're not there yet. All right, everybody, that's all I got. Thank you all for watching. Here's the link again, 786 Assassins / half off. It's down in the description of the video. $8 a month is nothing. You're being really cheap for not $8 a month. I mean, come on, $8 a month. But with that being said, thank you all for watching. I appreciate every single one of you coming on here. In the words of the late, great, notorious B.I.G., you couldn't have been anywhere in the world. You chose to be here with me. I appreciate that more than you ever realize. Thank you. I'll see you guys on the next one, Thursday. Peace. Welcome back, everybody. Market update time. It's April 25th. We're getting closer to May. We got some important dates coming up. What's going to happen? Let's have a look.